This week with Marlo, where's he at in terms of?
He's out there a little bit, but I don't think he's going to play. I mean, he's doing a little bit. He's halfway jogging, running, but I don't think he's really hadn't timed up plays. So of the opinion, he's probably not dressing and playing. So I guess we can see as we move forward. But to me, when a guy hasn't timed up reps and we got enough other guys, I'd say he's probably out of the mix.
Will Matty, what
Same deal. He's kind of missed the bulk. So Colin Rara will get the bulk at center, and we'll have Justin Pagan, Peyton Eckert, our next couple if there's a problem there. So we got 3 guys ready to go. That's kind of been the backups all along. So with Colin, even though he started a couple 3 games at right guard, he was the backup center from the get-go. So it's not really, he's our second center. So on paper, it looks like a guard's going to center, but he was playing well enough that we made him a starter. And really, guard and center is the same gig. It's one guy's got to handle the ball. So assignment-wise, job description, they're comparable players. Just one guy's got a little more stress with snapping the ball. So
what else are you going to do on the right side then? I mean, Colin's been some right guard. I mean, is it Justin at right guard and then Peyton at right tackle still? Or
correct, and then we could get, Peyton can go a little bit right tackle with Cody Evers. So he's still got the same kind of mix. You got Damish can play, either side guard with Bernard. So, the real gig is just, with Will being out, you got the same number of guys going. Will's out, so that means Colin gets the bulk of center. If there's a problem, you go to, you don't plan, we never plan to use more than one center. You play multiple spots, but you don't change the snapper a whole lot just for the mechanics. A lot of times you don't like to change quarterbacks. Those guys kind of stay steady. It doesn't happen all the time. So I would not anticipate having a center issue unless there's just a problem with Colin physically.
Right.
And again, Justin would start at right guard with Peyton, and Justin also will kick a little right guard so Cody can come in or mark and kind of spell Eckert as a freshman. So he's not playing the whole game at right tackle, but he's getting the bulk of it probably.
All that being said, Will's never missed a start, I guess, since he's been here. Just how, I guess, maybe he redshirted, I guess, as a freshman, but how kind of big of a thing is that, and what does it mean to the line just to have one of their leaders gone?
Again, we've been kind of erratic as a line, so I don't know if it's that big a deal as much as just, he's always been reasonably steady with snap, and you would trust that Colin would come in. He's done a little bit in some of the games. We've had a couple games, had him in there a few, not much, but again, he's done a great job in practice. We've really worked Pagan and Peyton Eckert as much. So if there's an issue with Colin, that the next guy would be steady Eddie. So we probably spent more time making sure the second guy was up to snuff more than Colin. So we don't, if our rhythm of what's going on, a lot of people, you do some degree of identification and calls, but we don't do a boatload of talking. So it's not like we got a guy up there that's, the team spokesman and what's going on. It's a little bit more just common recognition and general understanding as far as assignments and tracks and picking up blitzes and relating to people and blocking and all that. So, it's not like you're losing. You're just losing guys played a couple of years, pretty steady. But it'd be a good opportunity if those other guys keep playing. We'll move forward with them. And I don't think Will's that bad. I mean, hopefully he's a week or two away. I think so. He's out there. He's not on. He's just got a little brace on. Just got a sprain. So hopefully he'll move forward quicker than like Leon. I don't think it's near as severe as like Leon Beckett, who's going every day. Went every day last week, and Leon's good. So, and that way we gained on one.
Does practicing in Mellencamp limit what you're able to do during your practice, or is it a big adjustment to how you go about things?
We quite a bit, and the only reason sometimes you go in the stadium, we can actually use that little side park out there to get the big guys off the field. But no, it's we hit it quite a bit, used to it, and we're kind of blessed. It's reasonably you can get a fair amount of kicking in there, and not with the height of the building. So it's not. It gets a smidge cramp, but like today was a day we're doing a lot of scoring zone situations, short field, so it's not that big a deal.
What have you seen from Iowa? I guess I don't think we even asked you about that.
Well, again, looking at them from last week, trying to reestablish their run game, which has probably been a little, out of sync for their standards. Quarterback play's been awfully good. Defensively, they're always rock solid and steady. It's the same coaching staff. It's been there, for the bulk since day one with Coach Sprint since '99. So a lot of continuity, playing steady. Lost at Penn State in a close game, and had a nice comeback against Pitt at home. Played a competitive game on the short end of Iowa State. So they're playing competitive good. They always play solid D. Be hard to run the ball on them. Always is. They're stubborn with their alignments of what they do, with the thickness of their linemen and where they put linebackers and safety. So they're always stubborn to run the ball against. Northwestern did a nice job and worked them pretty well. Worked them well in the passing game. But for the most part, again, play solid D. Don't turn it over. Quarterbacks now play a lot. He's playing steady. So they're a solid football team.
How are you seeing their kind of personnel come together? Obviously, they've put a lot of guys in the NFL in recent years. It seems like they're a little bit rebuilding defensively. What do you think about sort of some of the new guys that they're playing, I guess? And
I don't really, again, I didn't, from afar, as you saw those defensive linemen last year, I didn't really look at them and whatnot. But, they've had for a long time, even prior to Coach Ferentz, a number of quality players come through. They've always cycled good guys in, since the mid '80s when Coach Hayden Fry got it turned around. They've been a steady program. So that being said, they might not be quite as physically up to speed as where they're at, but by playing young guys and first-year guys, they'll grow, and they're 4-2 and in the thick of the race right now, and they're playing good football. And it starts because the quarterback's good and they play solid defense.
Anybody else an issue in terms of injury-wise? Is there anybody that's come up with anything since?
No, I mean, like Bobby Richardson's win every day. He's good to go. No issue. DeWeese and Kofi are all looking better, running around, playing, practicing better. They were nicked earlier, and they're definitely looking a lot better. Jeff Thomas has been going, Liam Beckham every day. I mean, those guys inside, Sliger's still, probably looks like about a week out for him. Will's probably a week.
Or you mean?
That's right, I get those two backwards. Okay. Yeah, Mix looks like a week or so out, gaining on it, but has not practiced. So, again, I think you got a good handle. And at the same time, we kind of, we're playing a bunch of guys, rotating guys around in certain areas. So I don't know if we got to quote 11 straight anyway. We're still, letting some guys fight for it, play for it. And that being said, maybe that gets us a little out of sync. That's just the nature of where we are right now.
Do you hope somewhere down the road when you've been here for a couple of years that you don't have as much shuffling from week to week when it comes to the lineup?
You would think good teams don't get hurt. Same guys play every week. That's why they're good. You need to have depth. And you're always going to get a few nickups. You need to always have about 8 linemen ready offensively. You need probably 3 D tackles and 3 DNs you feel you can win with. I don't know, realistic, if you can say you're going to be 2 deep across the board and every 2 is going to be able to competitively play at a high level, but you'd like to think you have a spare, 3 safeties. So if there is a problem, there's one guy that can come in and play solid upper-level balls. So same at corner receiver, same at tailback. You're looking for 2, probably 3. So, for sure. And, again, as we physically mature and get where we're going, I think, again, my whole thing this week, telling guys, again, I just am disappointed short-term that we've not developed more physical toughness and we don't hit. And again, we can do that as we mature, getting strength a little bit bigger and to some degree in recruiting. But at the same time, the more you play, the more you hit, the more comfortable you get, the more confident you get. And I think our football team, our big mode this week is to still try and while we're in season with pads on, we need to build physical toughness. And then we'll move forward after the season for the all-season work. But right now, short term, guys staying on blocks, offensively staying after blocks, running backs running hard like Stevens Kane, receivers being more competitive, D-line getting off blocks, DBs when you're getting there really striking, bringing your feet, clubbing up. And we can't go out and beat our team up. But as we're playing, we're really trying to emphasize some energy. And I'm disappointed that we don't show more physical a style of play on all phases, kicking, all that. So that's, as we move forward these next 4, 5, 6 weeks, that's internally the short build that we're looking for with our guys as we practice. And we're not out there just smash mouth and beating us, but we got to keep working on being a tougher physical team. And that's the essence of football. Even those spread teams. Again, I've said several times, Texas Tech, when Mike Leach was really playing them good, they still were very physical. At receiver, offensive line, they were passing every play, but there was a toughness with their team that was impressive. When you got on the field, they might have threw it every play, but it was tough, and it was physical. And that's, again, short-term what we need to build through the rest of the season as we're moving forward.
Is there any one player that's been consistent in that area that's the most consistent anyway?
I don't know. Just across the board, we're not as a team. We just, again, the more we just can collide our bodies together, learn how to, again, strike, take a blow, deliver a blow, how to tackle, how to come with the ball with force and strike. I keep saying this, but one of the best ways to block, or one of the best ways to play the game is to run, because when you run, you have momentum. It's one of the laws of nature. It's force, and moving objects with force create more force and do damage. And as a football player plays with speed and force, he's a better football player. And that being said, the more we can learn, the less we think, the faster we play, the more physical we play, the better team we're going to be. And that's, again, my fault, short-term as a coach. I'm disappointed I don't see that more in our team. That we just don't, fly around with the speed you need to. And we can develop that through recruiting and training and conditioning. But again, we can also, I think that can, to some degree, that's a learned skill too. And that's what we're harping short term. We want to keep learning because, again, we saw Saturday a team that played with force, played with speed. And yeah, they might be big guys, but they were big guys moving. Mm-hmm. And that's what we got to learn to do as we move forward.
That's what's really frustrating about all the loafs that you guys have had over the past couple of weeks?
And some of that's maybe a lack of confidence, lack of knowledge, lack of uncertainty, you name it. There's all kinds of reasons. But whatever it is you're thinking, the more you're thinking as a player, the less you're moving. And that being said, again, the more we can get our guys to understand their system, understand their assignments, play with some confidence, play with some self-esteem, and fly around, the better we're going to be individually on each side of the ball and as a team. So again, and that's Iowa's, the presence of Iowa, and I think they're trying to build, watching them last week, is a presence of an offense that's playing more physical and running off the ball. And then we'll see if we'll be up to matching that challenge Saturday. To me, it's a work in progress. And again, we'll keep working on tweaking our schemes and schematics and doing a better job as coaches. But the first thing that disappoints me right now is that I'd just like to see our team continue to bring the effort, energy, physicalness to football, because that's to me where it starts, and that's to me where short term we haven't connected and quite got it yet. And we're not far off, but we got to keep building that. Okay.
Thanks a lot.